Hello and welcome to the Hotkeys podcast, your shortcut to various opinions on all things pop culture. This is the episode for the week of April the 25th, 2021. I am your host for this week, David Parker, and joining me this week is...
Landon Browning,
Will Dobratz,
Colby Chapman,
and Mick.
Nick.
Parker.
It's our late night podcast, if you are...
Nobody wants to be here.
Most of us.
I want to be here.
I'm down to record.
I too want to be here. I'm just a little sleepy.
I'm
but that's
so
okay.
tired.
Tired, exhausted, hungry, but we push on.
Yeah, I'll just be half asleep throughout my day at work tomorrow. But that's okay.
No sacrifice too great, right?
Exactly. I mean, I would rather do the podcast and be sleepy at work than the other way around. You know. Because I enjoy
do the podcast and be rested.
I enjoy. Did you say not do the podcast and be rested, or do the podcast and be rested?
Well, I'm confused now. Hold on.
You confused yourself? Like
it hurt itself in confusion.
If I have to be, tired to do the podcast, then I guess that's okay.
So be it.
So be it. Jedi.
I mean, you're coming off a vacation. You can grind out some late nights.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a week ago. Like, vacation is so far in the past.
You've already reset.
When you guys get back from a vacation, do you get that?
Do I get sad?
That
Yeah.
depression that like you have to go back to regular life and the fun vacation is now over, and then
Right.
like the crippling
Reality.
anxiety from existence creeps back into your life, into your mind.
Yep. All the time.
Typically, a
Like
little bit
every
of
vacation.
self-medication every night can kind of keep that at bay. But
No, I think I'm the only one that's the outlier here. I like coming back from vacation.
What?
What
Why?
you like coming back from vacation, or like there are aspects of coming back that you can appreciate? Because
I like coming back from vacation.
So you don't like vacations?
No, I just get tired of not being home and not being in like my personal living
Dude,
space.
this is the most Will statement I've ever heard, I think.
I don't know what that means, but I'm just gonna keep talking.
But there's no amount of you then that is also like, because I can also understand the comfort of coming back home, but then there's also a different part of me that is bummed that I am now back also in my regular routine. Like,
Instead
is
of
there
having
no
fun
part of
every
you
day.
that
I mean, a little bit. I mean, there's part of me that feels like I want to go back to where I was immediately, especially if it's somewhere nice in the beach. Like Florida was really rough to kind of leave because it's the beach. It was in the winter and it was warm in Florida, and I come back and it is very cold. But I also felt really good coming back because I was free to do my normal routine, and that sounds really weird.
play video games.
Play video games,
Let's
relax
be
by
real here.
myself.
Let's be real.
Because as the vacation was super family centered, family oriented, and as much as I love my family and I love my extended family, sometimes being around extended family all the time 24/7 is a little exhausting.
Once again, a little bit of self-medication throughout the day. Just make that way better.
What self-medication are you talking about, Landon?
Rewind to Landon's last vacation when he went to the beach with his family.
I was fairly medicated, both that. Self-medicated. That
oh no.
gobble gobble.
Yeah, and anyway, see, that trip was a week ago, so it's so far out of my mind that now
You can't even remember it.
yeah, I can't even remember
It's just
it.
gone.
It's,
You look at the pictures like, I don't remember this. I don't remember being there.
yeah. See, my self-medication is like, streaming services, so, I've been probably consuming too much of that, so it's, I can't even remember anymore. I've blocked out all the bad thoughts and all the good thoughts just from binging television shows.
No thoughts. No thoughts is better. As soon as you start to think about it, then
Yeah.
that's bad.
So this week, the last episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier dropped, and I think all of us watched it except for Colby. But Colby's,
Well, he never watches anything.
Yeah, Colby's
I
not
don't
watching
have time.
anyway, so
Yeah, nope, don't have time.
Yeah, he's too busy
Playing PlayStation
not watching
for 5 hours a day.
TV
Doing
shows.
whatever I want.
So, what do we have for, I guess initial impressions, and we can go a little bit more in depth if we want. And I guess we'll have full spoilers on Falcon and Winter
The whole
Soldier
entire series.
season.
So be warned.
Season.
It was painfully okay. The finale.
I think that's a good way to describe it.
You had mentioned
Missed some-
that it was a little rushed, and that it seemed like it could have
Yes.
been like 2 or 3 episodes, and I completely agree with that sentiment.
Yeah. Like they rushed John Walker's kind of like return to grace. They rush I feel like they rushed just the whole action sequence starting. They rush. I would have liked a little bit more time with like Bucky and Sam just hanging out, like not doing like action related stuff, and then
The episode before, there was like half an hour spent with him making a boat.
Yeah,
it
but
was
like
not a half an hour, it was
Sam,
like 10
Sam
minutes.
says
It was like 10
Sam,
minutes of them
much.
making the boat.
It's too much.
Sam says
No.
one thing to Bucky
Too much.
about how he should fix his problems, and then boom, done.
Problem solved.
That's the most. That's
how
amount of,
you
like,
solve
development
problems. Is
or-
you just talk about how to solve problems, and then the problems
Exactly.
are magically
So,
gone.
Right, exactly. So all they needed to do was just talk about one thing once, and then the entire plot line completely is solved, and that's what it felt like. That's what this whole entire series has felt like, where it's one solution, then move on. I don't know if that's accurate for you guys, but it's like one solution to John Walker, redeem him, boom, move on.
Yeah, I would have, because he had this, fall from grace that lasted very little time, and then his rise back up. I mean, he wasn't elevated back to Captain America. He's now this new U.S. agent, but that happened so quick.
Yeah.
And then they're also like patting each other on the back, like Bucky and John Walker, which just was like totally weird. Like, oh yeah,
good.
remember when,
We good,
remember when
we're
I
good.
broke your arm the other day? Nah, forget about it. We're good now. It's just
It was just
I'd say
it's just two super soldiers hanging out, being bros, right?
Yeah.
this guy's being
Overall-
dude.
Dudes being bros.
overall, this series was like a pretty big meh to me. Same with the finale. It was like I thought Falcon's new Captain America suit was pretty cool.
It was so cool.
Very comic accurate, so I think that's cool that they stuck to it pretty true. But yeah, can't say much else good about the show.
Carly sucked.
Didn't really care for it. Yeah, she was kind of a like not
one of the worst
memorable
villains.
villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Marvel, in the Marvel universe, yeah, one of the worst ones. I think they don't have a super strong track record. I mean, they've got some winners, but I think generally not as great. And she was, I was super relieved when she got killed. Like I was like, oh, thank goodness they just killed her. Like
You
Yeah,
didn't want her to
it's
stick
terrible.
around or to have like some
Oh, if
weird,
she stuck around,
some
like,
weird
no,
redemption
no.
arc or something.
No, she had to die. She was so
This is
bad.
the only language they understand.
Yes. Violence.
It's like what? Like what?
She's like, oh, I guess we'll just kill all these people. Like,
0 to 100, and then they gave her a hero's death. It was like, oh, so noble. I'm like, what? Am I missing something? Like, did it go over my head? Like, was she not a terrorist? And then it's like, this is pretty, yeah, she's kind of terrorist.
Activist will.
Right, because Sam in the end says we should call them terrorists, even though they're the textbook definition of terrorists.
yeah.
I understand the sentiment in that, like, there's a label there and it kind of dehumanizes people, but at the same time, it's like when you go to the extreme measures, and when the definition is literally what it means to go to extreme measures to get something done, I don't understand how you can not call them that. I think a more effective message would have been Sam Center, like, hey, your policies made them terrorists, But instead,
We also
Sam
never
goes,
saw Carly do like anything good
yeah,
either.
exactly. Nope. We
know,
just saw,
like-
oh, she's got a good, like, Sam's like, she's got a good heart or something like that. I'm like, well, I don't know
we
that.
have nothing to
like,
go ooff of. Like,
yeah, she seems pretty terrible to me. Like I'd probably be like, if I saw John Walker doing what he did, I'd probably could be pretty convinced that
he did what he had to do.
he did what he had to do. Like if the media, like the only reason we saw was that it was so bad is because it provided context for it, like in a God's eye view for the show. So, but if I just saw that on screen, it's like, oh man, like if I saw that in real life on a news station, I'd probably there'd probably be a lot of people who said, oh, it's justified. I might be one of them. I don't know.
There'd be a lot of people. Yeah, I'd be one of them. I'd be like, yeah, kill him.
I wasn't.
I mean, yeah, and they killed.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say like, and then I thought it was great. I did think it was great that they killed the rest of the Flag Smasher people or whatever.
Oh, Zemo.
Zemo
Yeah,
took him out.
Zemo's
I thought that
butler.
was pretty great,
Dude, I love
especially because
Zemo.
like he like had his guy like
That
tell him like he's like, oh, like
107-year-old
one nation,
killed
one
him?
people.
Yeah.
Dude, that dude was older than the Butler in Spider-Man 3.
Why?
Your father killed himself with his trailer.
Some other stuff, I guess. Throughout the whole series, I really didn't like Carter's character, AKA the power broker.
I mean,
She's so
technically,
powerful.
she never said she was,
What?
but it was probably her.
I thought she said it. I thought she said it herself.
No, she didn't.
She didn't literally
confirm
say,
that she
yes,
was.
it is I, the power broker.
But it was said like, oh, so you're the power broker, and then she didn't say anything, but it's most likely her.
Okay, her character makes no sense. Absolutely none.
I have a theory. I shared this theory with Will because
What-
the character makes no sense. But my
a good
theory is
theory.
that maybe she is. It's this part of like the secret invasion storyline that she's not actually
You think
Carter,
she's a
and
scroll?
she's one of the that she's one of those scroll people.
Mhm.
Because it just doesn't add up. Like if,
It would
if she's,
still not make her character interesting.
It would at least justify
I agree,
some.
but
It would at least justify
like,
some
the
weird
turn.
things. It is
Sure,
kind of weird that
I
she
guess.
didn't get a part in, and everyone else
yeah,
did. Right?
that's
Yeah.
just bad.
That's one thing we
And they
talked
don't
about in the
explain
last
it.
couple
They're
of
like-
weeks. They don't explain it, and then she barely helps in this last episode, and then she gets her pardon because of the other agreement with
Or why did
Sam.
Bucky and Sam call her out of everybody else that they know? Like Rhodey was even in the show in the beginning. Why didn't they call anybody else? This took place in New York. This final episode was in New York where there's a million other heroes. Like why
Or
did
Spider-Man.
it have to
Spider-Man.
be why did it have to be her? Like it was just dumb.
I mean, it had to be her
Yeah.
because she was part of the franchise, I guess. But I've never really been a big fan of her character in any of the other
No.
movies as well. I think this had the potential to make her more interesting, and I think it just made her more convoluted. I think
So if she does turn out to be a scroll, then you'll be like, oh, cool.
no. I think
Well,
no.
they can still save her character, like you know, what I mean?
Because
Like,
then it
doesn't
writes
make
her
make any
character
sense
out,
in
and
this-
they're like, she's just gone forever, and whoever like her scroll is, someone else, right? Is a scroll.
yeah.
But the real
Yeah.
Sharon
I don't care what happened to the real Sharon Carter because I never cared
somewhere
about the real.
She
I
got,
never
like-
cared about the
she
real
got killed.
Sharon
she got
Carter.
killed
But
by somebody.
Captain America's side chick. What? How you don't care about Captain America's side chick? That
No.
he goes back in time to ultimately get
No.
with her like grandmother.
No, I never cared about. I
think it's her.
never cared about the side chick. Will. So yeah, that was something I didn't really care about at all much in the show was her and that whole kind of power broker storyline. Things I did appreciate was the interactions we did get with the two main characters. I thought for the most part, whenever they were together on screen, I enjoyed that and enjoyed their interactions. And then some of the closure we get with Bucky, especially in the last episode and everything, and then him, like seeing the people that he's making his amends with, and then kind of tying in the first episode. That was in the first episode, right, where you see him
Yeah.
with the really old dude who was the dad to the guy that he killed in the flashback. So that was like a touching moment, probably one of the more touching moments in this series.
That's like one of the best parts of the series is that I think that first episode where Bucky has this internal struggle of he murdered this dude's son and he doesn't know how to get past it. He tries helping them, but it's not going to help them accept their son's death when he doesn't even know how he died. So it's just kind of like, ooh, that's pretty heavy. Like that's what made me so excited for the series is that first episode.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like all that potential of that great deep storytelling for characters, just most of it's gone by the end of the series.
Yeah, a lot of it was kind of wasted potential, I would say.
Potential.
It made me like, I was never like super invested in Bucky or Sam, those two characters. I never had too much investment in them. I thought they were okay characters, but I never cared about them as much. Now I'm more invested. I think it did a good enough job to like, if they're in further projects, I'll be more interested to see what they do.
I would agree with that too. I would agree with that for both characters in particular. I was never, because Mick had mentioned on a couple weeks ago, he had never really been a Falcon fan. I had never really been a big Winter Soldier fan. And so this kind of made me like his character a lot more, this series.
Yeah.
I still don't really care for him. But
I mean, I like Bucky more than Sam.
Yeah, same.
But I still agree with kind of both with Landon and David, where it's like I am more invested in them now. Especially, I liked kind of Sam's struggle with like Isaiah Bradley. I don't know if anybody else liked that, but kind of like this. Oh man, like this guy got screwed over really badly and doesn't know how to really handle that.
Yeah, that's one thing the show was kind of working on, was like dealing with like the issue of race in like especially the role of not just Captain America but all superheroes, all super soldiers and stuff, and kind of portraying that with Isaiah Bradley. I mean, I think it was okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if
some
it's
of
just
it's very
because
successful.
Yeah, I think some of it's
some of it falls flat on its face.
Yeah, I think when you have kind of like a show like this, it is kind of surface level. I don't know if it's just easier to kind of delve into race issues in things that are a little more complicated or a little more mature, I guess. I thought some of the themes and kind of the element that they were talking about were important and were relevant to today's things going on with today. But I still think some of it was a little kind of surface level too, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Oh, I 100% agree. And I think not only is it surface level for me, it's going to be irrelevant, I think, in 10 or 15 years. I think because these kind of specific surface level issues evolve over time. And so the very specific instances that the show kind of demonstrates and the surface level things it tries to get at, some of it will have relevance, but other parts of it won't, which kind of I think hurts the show a little bit. I much prefer shows with more deeper themes, longevity, that hold up throughout all the ages, because there are different kind of themes, different struggles, different problems that will always try to be solved and won't ever have solutions, that are represented through history that you can kind of talk about.
Well,
and
if society doesn't have if 15 years from now, like, those are still relevant struggles, then that's almost worse, right?
Yeah.
something tells me.
What do you want,
it
Will?
Might still be relevant.
Do you want it to be relevant, or do you?
I would hope it's not relevant. That'd be cool. Something try to touch. No, that'd be a win. But like,
that's not what I'm trying to say.
I know what you're saying.
I think, like, I guess
you guys just broke Will.
What I meant was just that I think it hurts the storytelling, even though it has good intention behind it. That's all I was trying to say.
That can make
whatever,
sense.
man. We know your intentions.
What were they, Colby? As someone who has seen every episode of the show.
So I was thinking while you guys were talking, and I agreed with everything that everyone said.
Thanks for the timely and
yeah. So there's really
thought-provoking.
There's no real reason for me to repeat it because you guys already said it. So.
One thing I guess there are certain things that they did set up in this show for future things, but they didn't do the thing where they tease like a lot of things that are unfamiliar. Like, I feel like it doesn't count with Falcon as Captain America, because I feel like that's integral to this story, but you don't get kind of weird teasers and stuff. So I think this was a little more self-contained. We do have, U.S. Agent and the Contessa, her thing that she's doing. But for the most part, I feel like this wasn't something that was like, we're throwing, all this stuff at the wall to like show you all these things we have in the works. So that can sometimes be fun, but I think sometimes it can be a little too much. So I guess that there was at least a little like relief that this wasn't setting up 800 new things that now I have to keep track of as well.
Yeah.
Did anyone else get Fast and Furious vibes at the very end when it's like the big family coming together doing a big barbecue party? Everyone's drinking beer and having a good time.
I've never seen any of the.
Oh gosh, that's how like half of those movie end is like they're all sitting around a dinner table together having a barbecue.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Well, wait, you're saying it's a bad thing, like getting together with family and drinking?
I think it's a bad
drinking
thing.
beer.
I think it's a bad thing to evoke anything Fast and Furious.
I mean, I did not get Fast and Furious vibes, but maybe that's just me. I've only seen the first 5 films. I'm not a huge Fast fan.
Have you actually?
Because now there's yes, I've seen the first 5.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Well, our close friend growing up, Jesse, he loved those movies for some reason. So every once in a while we would watch the next one. And I think the 4th and the 5th one, Michael and I saw in theaters. Not only did we see those movies, those are movies we saw in the theaters.
We got the full experience.
I didn't see it in theaters. I haven't seen any Fast and Furious movie in theaters.
Maybe you weren't.
And I refuse to.
Maybe you weren't invited then.
I will never.
Sorry.
I don't think the Fast and Furious fan base wants me in the theater when they're there, because when I was in the theater the last time and they played a trailer for like Fast 9, like I was like literally just
giggling.
laughing.
Dude,
I was laughing uncontrollably. Like
it was like a preview before the actual film. I don't even know what film we were there to see. And Landon would not stop laughing. I was getting secondhand embarrassment.
It
was so
embarrassingly bad. It was embarrassing.
He wouldn't stop.
Yes, it was. He was just like constantly
it was
throughout the
so
whole
loud
entire
and
trailer.
obnoxious.
It's so bad. It was so
it's
bad.
just so unbelievable. Like it's insane. Like they fly the car off like a jump, and then like a plane with a giant magnet on it comes by and like scoops the car up.
That's kind of the
that's the appeal,
allure and the appeal with those movies. Because I was gonna say I'm not going to defend the Fast and Furious movies. Those are not good movies. Those are great summertime movies that you can watch and you can enjoy them in kind of a different way than you enjoy other movies.
In the newest trailer, it shows them going to space.
So,
wait, are you serious? You can't be serious.
They're gonna drive cars in space.
I had fun watching all of those movies, but not in the way that I have fun watching,
good films.
It's like watching a cheesy horror movie.
Kind of, yes. It's a cheesy action movie. So,
and there's someone I think they're more self-aware now, right?
I guess so. I mean, probably. I haven't seen the last 4 or 5. How many are there now? 8 or 9?
I think there's 9.
My goodness.
That's one, and then there's Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
see,
yeah.
and now yeah. Well, next time I come visit, we can all get caught up on the Fast and Furious franchise, and then Landon, he's gonna flip. So like the next time they have the next trailer, instead of laughing, he's just gonna be there like crying, like in anticipation for this next awaited.
He's like,
film.
Finally, John Cena's back in F10. Oh my god!
His now favorite franchise. Any last...
They just keep like they have like they really have the weird family tie. They're like, you said you never turn your back on family, so I turn your back on me, and it's like, who's that? And it's John Cena. They're like, it's Dom's brother or whatever. Like one of the characters, like, whoa, like you told me they went like 9 movies before they revealed the guy has a brother. Like 9 movies, like
9 times.
Oh goodness. Well, any last Falcon and Winter Soldier talks, critiques, thoughts?
#free Zemo.
That's what
behind that.
That's what I think that's U.S. Agent's first assignment is going to be his free Zemo from Wakanda.
I didn't care at all about Zemo. I thought he was he just did not have a purpose in this show. I just thought.
I mean, they used him to he helped find Carly, didn't he?
Yeah, but it's one of those things. It's like anybody else could have helped. It's like they just wanted him.
I feel like once you start doing that, though,
to
like
be
you can
there.
really just like you can break apart.
You can say that about any character almost. I think they too kind of wanted to
I mean,
redeem.
specifically, it's like okay, should we call someone who is a fellow Avenger, or should we go through this elaborate thing where we break out this criminal that almost destroyed the Avengers? Let me think. Let's do that one.
I think part of it is
it's about specific details like that where I'm like, that is just ridiculous.
I think they wanted to also kind of change him into more into the Zemo that is in the
and that's
comics,
my point. They
right?
want him there.
Yeah.
They want him
of-
there to. They want him there to be there. Like,
But
that's
wasn't
my point.
Zemo key in progressing the plot though? Like if I remember correctly, like he knew about Hydra and he knew how to get like to the bottom of the super soldier serum, right? Like he knew some
I mean,
kind
he
of
would have known
like,
information that Avengers people wouldn't have known.
yeah, I thought that was their excuse for having to involve Zemo is because they had to go underground basically to get to their destination, which they went underground. They went to Sharon Carter, wound up to Sharon Carter, and then they tracked down Carly for a little bit.
Dude, they're the Avengers. They could figure it out on their own.
Yeah,
They don't need Zemo there.
by getting Zemo's help, you know.
No, they don't need Zemo there.
All right.
Pointless.
Anyway, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Maybe they'll do a second season, but they will do a Captain America 4. I guess they talked about that recently. So Falcon / Captain America. So is Falcon, like the title Falcon, is that gone?
It's up for grabs.
It's gonna go to the other guy,
Wait, what other dude?
Useless Danny.
the partner of Sam.
Oh, that military kid.
The journalist
Danny. I
guy?
think his name is Danny.
In the
His name's
comics,
Danny.
Danny
in the
Phantom
comics, he takes up the mantle
just-
of Falcon.
flies around everywhere.
He's useless though. Like he didn't do anything.
Gosh dang it. All right. Landon,
Yeah, Danny Ramirez is the character's name.
Landon,
Oh wait, no,
you-
Joaquin Torres. Danny Ramirez is the actor's name.
Oh, whoops.
so I guess real quick, Amazon released a superhero show, Invincible.
Yeah, it's based off of a series of graphic novels by Robert Kirkman.
Is he the Walking
who
Dead
is
guy?
Yes, he's the Walking Dead guy. So they released the first season. I watched the first episode. A friend of the show, Oliver, was recommending it. I'd heard about the comics before, heard they were really good. So I'm like, well, I'll try the show and see if I like it. And if I like that, maybe I'll get into the comics. And really good. The first episode was really, really good. It's basically about this boy who's essentially in this world. He's like the son of like a Superman type character. And he's like late high school and he's like just about to get his superpowers. Like his dad's from, some other planet. And like once you become like a teenager, you get your powers eventually. So it's about him learning to like use his powers. But there's some, I don't want to say too much as to spoil some things, but like there's some interesting developments in the story that I did not see coming at all. That left me at the end of the first episode like, oh man,
Shook.
okay. Yeah, like I'm like, okay, this this adds up with it. This is written by the guy that wrote The Walking Dead. I'm like, okay,
I'm also
like,
assuming that it's an Amazon show. It's written by this guy. I'm assuming it's fairly dark and or
yeah,
like mature.
I mean, it's rated TVMA.
It's
and
not
then
Falcon
I'm
and
gonna,
Winter
You know what?
Soldier,
I will
or-
somewhat slight spoilers for episode 1 of Invincible. About at a certain point in the episode, I'm like, this is TVMA, but like this doesn't seem like anything, And then it goes some places, and they're like, okay, all right.
Probably
then,
the most
and then
violent.
Homelander shows up.
It's probably the most violent cartoon out there.
Did you watch the first episode, Mick?
I've seen like bits and pieces, and I think no pun intended. But I think I know what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh! Like you're
It
like,
made me
oh.
sick. I don't
Yeah.
think I can
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
that show.
Yeah.
Well,
The first
Colby's on
episode I
board
said-
now, so
yeah.
Yeah,
sign me up.
I'm kind of interested.
And I'm not a huge. I don't like comics generally as like the format for consuming media, but like this was good enough, and I've heard the comics way better than the show so far. That I'm like, okay, maybe I'm like, maybe I'll buy the comics and read it because I'm like, this is. It's kind of like the
You
boys,
might
where I'm
buy
like,
in.
this is my jam. Like this is my kind of thing. So.
No, I know you watched most of The Walking Dead, if not all of it. Did you ever read the comics?
I've got 3 of the compendiums sitting on my bookshelf. I read maybe like an 1/8 of the first compendium or whatever compendium.
Yeah,
which
yeah,
the comics are
I
really
essentially have
good.
the first 2 compendiums, and I had read them like either when the show first started or right before they came out, and I liked the comics a lot and didn't like the show.
Yeah, the show. Yeah,
the show though, you think is like good or
the Invincible
Yeah.
show. After the first episode, I thought it was great. From what I've heard, people that like the comics don't like it as much. So
those
it might
comic
be-
purists? Like,
I mean, but like
gosh,
my
you know,
thing would be like,
who does that?
I would say like watch. I'm gonna probably watch the whole first season. And if I really like it, then I'll buy the comics because I'm assuming the first season's not gonna cover that much of the complete story. So I mean, if you check it out and you really like it, then
Did they drop all the episodes, or is this one of those where they release them over a certain amount of time?
I think they're actually releasing them weekly.
Okay.
Which is dumb. I think they did the same thing like with the boys where they released the first 3 and then they do them on a one episode.
Just enough to get you hooked, and then you come back every week.
So go to Disney Plus for your like feel good superhero shows and go to Amazon when you like want to like just be like, oh yeah, when you
Feel
want to get down
something?
in the dirt. Yeah, when you want to feel something. Like when something besides happiness. So
Dang, Landon, you've been experiencing a lot of happiness lately, because all of your free time. What have you been doing with your free time?
I've spent almost every waking moment that I'm not at work at like my house, just like fighting this like almost one-man war, like against like remodeling a house for the first time. So I've had like supporting cast members show up to help. Like Colby was helpful enough to come by and like do a couple dump runs with me, and then my
What
dad
were you
came
taking to
It
the
was a
dump?
lot of fun.
So I took Friday off from work and I tore up all the carpet and in the couple bedrooms and then tore up all the trim, the baseboard trim on Friday. So then my boss, Lee, let me borrow his little pickup truck on Saturday. So took all that to the dump and then took the oven and then the dishwasher to the dump because they were just old and like disgusting. So I got that cleared out and then I got all the bedrooms primered and then most of like the hallway area primered this weekend as well.
Primered.
So, primered with primer, baby. You know me. Like you got to primer her up. So
Man, you're probably learning a
hopefully-
lot, right?
yeah.
Or are
because
you
I don't
learning
know.
very little?
Well, like I feel like I'm just like not doing a lot of the things right at first. Like, 'cause, like I did all of the primer in like one of the bedrooms, and I'm like,
Did I put the primer on backwards? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like, shoot. Like, did I shake it too much? Did I, am I supposed to like, is it supposed to be 90 degrees in here when I put the primer on? Like, am I supposed to lick it after it's on the wall? I don't know any of this stuff. So, so I've probably used way too much primer to be honest. I'm gonna be completely honest. I probably used too much primer in like a couple of the bedrooms. Not that like it does anything bad, I don't think, but I probably spent too much time.
I mean, I feel like you don't need a lot of primer, right? I mean, that the whole point
Yeah, I don't
is that
think
it's
so.
kind of just the.
No, I think you're right. I think you're right, Dave. I'm fairly certain you're right.
Landon thinks
just
it's
need
white
one
paint.
coat.
He's like, I can see through it.
Yeah. You know what? The first bedroom, it really looks like it's white paint. So, so maybe I don't have to. Maybe I don't have to
Paint the
do as many coats of paint. So, who knows? But that's like, you know what I mean? I'm out here fighting that fight. Y'all can judge me. Mick was shaking his head with some judgment, but it's no big deal.
I wish I could be
deal.
there. I wish I could be there to to help and
Laugh
moral
at me?
support. What? No, come on. That's what Michael does. It's, I'm not gonna laugh at you. I'm not gonna laugh at you.
No,
I'm
real-
gonna laugh-
real
Mick hasn't
laugh
even
at
been
you.
over to see the house. Like Mick hasn't
I
even
haven't
stopped
been
by.
invited. I
Whoa.
don't even
You've
know where
been
it is.
invited.
I don't even think you have a house. This is all a big sham.
He doesn't. The bank
It's a
took it
ruse.
back.
Yeah.
Does
Yeah,
Michael
you
actually
don't
think
wanna
he
see it
hasn't been
before you-
invited, or is this a lie?
I don't know. I don't know. It depends if he hasn't checked the Discord chat. So
Mick, how come you haven't seen his house yet?
I haven't been invited.
Okay.
Mick, I could take you there. I know how to get in.
Landon's gonna uninvite Mick pretty soon.
Yeah, Mick has been uninvited
no.
from coming to my
Dang
house.
it. I really wanted to go prime a wall
With primer.
with primer.
Yeah, too much primer.
So how
As
many?
a painting, you're somewhat of a painting expert, aren't you, Dave? Like you were a painter back in the
I
day.
mean, you know, they called me a painting expert. That was the title
title, the
underneath
job
my
title.
name on the name tag. But there was no expert about it.
Yeah.
You know,
Just
I would
painter.
I would put the primer on upside down instead of backwards.
Oh. Okay.
Gosh, yeah, the paint you would shake it too much. I don't shake it enough, so it would just look like someone just dropped the paint splotches in there and they're just on the wall. I was not. I mean, I was an okay painter. I wasn't an expert, but
Yeah. As a painting expert, though, since I primered my walls with too much primer, and now they're real primered up.
can you just
Have to put as many.
They're real
Please stop
primered
saying
up.
that.
with
They're real
primer?
primered
That's what he
up.
said.
with primer.
They're
Do
real.
you think
We
I
know
put as
what
many
you
coats of
used.
the real paint, or did I just waste like an hour of my time?
Primer is
Is it
becoming
gone?
my least favorite word.
Yeah,
Primer?
me too.
Have you guys seen the time travel movie Primer?
I'm not. I won't now.
Yeah, it's ruined.
Aw, dang. Because I've talked about it on the podcast before. I've said it's one of the best time travel movies, and now Michael's not going to watch
What about
Anything
what about
with the-
Hot Tub Time Machine?
Hot tub time machine.
And it's like I prime my wall with hot tub.
it. Hot tub water.
Yeah,
It's so hot in here.
it's a little known. It's an industry secret.
Dang. How many weekends you think before you're move-in ready? I know we've talked about this off the show, but now we can ask it now in front of the world.
So what? It's the end of April. We'll have
June
one
2026. Landon finally
Yeah.
moves in.
Yeah, I did it.
Nick
I
still
did it.
hasn't visited the house yet.
Yeah, still hasn't visited. Imagine I pay the house off before I move in. It's like I could finally live there because it's mine now.
Yeah, you go to the bank, you know, you're like, that's how it works, right? Like, I can finally move in.
And they're like, oh my gosh.
You idiot.
Yeah. I would hope I moved in. What is it? Almost the start of May. I would hope I moved in. At the very latest, I would hope I moved in by like the end of July, and that's like I don't think it'll be that late, but
And that's when you hope you move in.
no, that would be like at the very latest. The hope would be like in 2 months.
See, because
So, like,
right now,
maybe
you're
end of
only home owner, Landon. You're not home liver, Landon.
liver.
So,
That's my second stage.
Yeah.
That's my super
Stage
villain name
2.
right now. I'm home owner, and like next is I'm home liver.
home liver. That'll be the title of some future
home liver.
Hotkeys
I like
podcast
I shoot primer out of my eyeballs. Like, ah!
Oh no. Well, I'm glad the
Time to prime.
no.
Is that your catchphrase?
Glad the projects are going well. You know, I mean,
I can
It's
prime
going-
whatever
it's
I
going
want.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure you know Colby will still help you out. Mick sounds like probably not, but
Once I get invited, I'll maybe think about
I
it.
can't.
Michael, you are gonna join. You're gonna join the club. You wanna
I am.
You wanna
I'm gonna be
brag about it?
Finally.
brag about it a little bit?
I mean, I feel weird. I feel weird about bragging about something. I can see primer on Landon's arm.
Some battle wounds, baby.
Oh my
Primer
God.
landed.
Oh.
Primer landed.
Wait, look at the underside. Go like this more.
What?
Dude, like, what were you doing?
He was painting with his arm.
Laying down in the primer.
What? You need
Oh,
a
dude, the
brush?
primer feels so good.
Normally, I don't condone talking about things on the show that people can't see, but it does look like Landon just rolled across the wall, like the wet, primered with primer wall.
This.
Stop. Stop. It's so annoying.
So is Landon's arm primered with primer?
The primered with primer walls, primered Landon's arm with Primer.
Well,
Say that
So,
5
Mick,
times
for us
fast.
this week. Thanks for listening,
See,
guys.
I can say it because I'm the one that first called Landon out when he said, "I'm gonna primer with primer," and I said, "What? Why are you saying it like that?" And Landon clearly did not understand.
I will double down. I will triple
Is this-
down.
Is this episode
Just like I
one
did
of
with the
Hotkeys
primer
Prime?
on my wall.
Yeah, Hotkeys Prime.
Episode 1 of Hotkeys Prime.
Okay, Mick, quick,
Yes.
get us away.
So I'll be getting PS5 tomorrow.
Whoa! Yay!
Dude.
In a
Well,
I mean, it's
COVID
not for
world,
sure. I'm gonna go online.
I hope
and,
yours
like,
works, unlike
Cross my
mine.
fingers and hope, but I'm feeling good about it.
Okay, no.
Congratulations.
How did you actually get one?
Okay, I made somebody else buy it for me. I'm too lazy to try it. So
Did you
friend of
actually?
the
Dude,
show-
that's a real
yeah,
friend
of
right
the
there.
show, friend of the show, Josh, and his wife Crystal. They successfully got a PS5 for me. So I mean, I guess
Real
I still have to
friends.
pay them, but
Oh,
What if you
I'll
just
take
didn't
back
pay
my
them? Like,
previous statement.
what if you didn't pay them? Like, how awkward that make it? Like, you just like, oh, thanks for buying this for me, guys. Like,
it's one thing to not pay back somebody like for a lunch, but
For a
lunch that
PS5?
A $550.
$500. Like, yeah, it's I don't know if I could get away with that. Feel good about myself.
I mean, there's probably somebody in the world that's done that. You wouldn't be the
Oh, yeah,
first.
for sure.
Oh, well, in that case,
I mean, how does that go down? Like, does Michael go, okay, I'm going to wait until he invites me to pay him. So, he hands over the console and, Josh is there looking expectantly, for cash, a check, Bitcoin or whatever, with his hand
little
out.
Bitcoin.
And Michael's there going, thanks, see you, Josh.
Shakes his hand
Like-
with
like-
his hands out.
does Josh go like, well, when you get the chance, I'm here.
No,
pull
knowing
Mr.
Josh, he'd just be like, "Dude, pay up!" Like that's what he would say to Michael.
I pull Mr. Bean and I give him a cough drop instead of a tip.
I'm sure he would
There you go.
appreciate the cough drop, after getting you that.
What if
Because
it's
you know
like
what?
a $500?
Not
cough
only
drop?
was
Then he'd
this,
really appreciate
not
it.
only was this, a lot of money. It probably took a little bit of work. I mean, it sounds like they have the system down because this is, the fourth or fifth console that they've been able to snag. But I mean, I still imagine it takes a little bit of work to research when they go on sale, where what vendor is selling this,
think he
and then
said-
kind of getting everything
he said
together
that
so you
he
can actually
got
acquire
a,
one.
I think he said he got a notification at like midnight from someone on Twitter that Amazon was getting restocked, so he just checked and was able to get it.
So he follows all these people and everything, and
Yep.
are you paying him like a finder's fee? Like, are you gonna like
Cough
throw
drop.
an extra 50 in there?
He's not paying him at all.
Yeah. Haven't you been listening?
Okay,
Josh is like, not again, not another person that doesn't pay me.
Why does
like
this keep happening?
$2,500.
fourth time in a
Like-
row. Yeah, $2,000 in the hole. So Mick, since you're
Next
gonna
time.
you're gonna be joining the PlayStation 5 club, what are you most excited for then? And then what's the first PS5 game you're gonna?
I
you're
get
gonna
to know
boot
what
up?
it's. I'm most excited to get to know what it's like to frisbee a PS4 across the room.
Whoa.
That's gonna be fun.
Wait, whoa,
No, I'm kidding.
Wee. Yeah.
sounds fun.
You can set up a game. You can set up a game of ultimate, PS4 frisbee. Just don't invite Landon.
Yeah.
Get your joke, Dave. I don't get it.
Just like you didn't get the invite
Just
to
awkward.
Landon's house.
I'll, yeah, exactly. See, thanks for sticking with it, Dave.
Dave's getting it now.
Yay, Dave. I think I don't know. I think just playing on the PS5 will be nice. I just did like a giant update for Call of Duty. It took like 12 hours.
I had one of those on my computer.
And-
It was literally over 150 gigs.
funny.
Unacceptable.
So I think just faster load times will be really nice. I'm excited to use the new controller.
The new controller's awesome.
Yeah, so yeah, I think it should be fun.
What's the first
Uh,
official PS5 game you're gonna buy?
What's out right now for PS5?
I haven't even
Almost
bought a
almost
PS5.
nothing. Like,
There's Miles Morales, which you already bought and played for the PS4. There's
That's true, yes.
all these PS4 games that you
Astro's
that you can
Playroom
play
is
on your
free.
PS4.
I'm gonna play
Yeah,
Astro's
play-
Playroom.
That's pretty
That's gonna
fun.
be the first PS5 game. Yeah.
You'll also get the PS Plus collection, which is a couple of games that you have to pay for, but you get access
Okay.
to. They're not free.
I'll fight you. I'll fight you right now.
But okay, have you played God of War?
I haven't. That was actually one.
That'll
that,
be one of the ones
Josh
you can-
was telling me about that I'm gonna get. So I was like, oh sweet,
It's
I'll be nice
so
to play that
good.
on PS5.
I cannot imagine it in 60 FPS. Landon, you haven't even finished the game, and you say Kratos is a bad character, so you
I'm
can't
like
even
on my
talk.
like third.
Like
Like
that
I've
is
tried to play it like I've tried to play it like 3
Slam the
times.
desk, Will.
like
Slam
out
the
of all the
desk.
trash ass opinions you
your
have, the very few trash ass opinions that you have, that
Will,
one's
slam
number
your desk.
one.
Did
Give
you say
us Days-
very few? I feel like Landon is kind of like,
Days Gone 2. Give us Days Gone 2. Give us Days Gone 2.
hey,
Sony
speaking
buried that franchise.
Speaking of
Messed up.
Days Gone, that was one
wrong.
of the PS Plus games of this month. You know, I'm gonna come out and say I did add it to my library, but I don't think I am ever going to install or play that game. This is
Well,
like
there's not going to be a sequel. Did you guys hear the news that they're not making a sequel? Like,
Oh,
like
bummer.
Sony shut, like
Dude,
Sony shut down.
Clap
like,
my
they're-
hands.
Isn't there a
I'm clapping
game-
my hands. Good decision,
Isn't there a game
Sony.
called-
Good decision.
Isn't there a game coming out that's called like The Days Before or something,
I don't
or A
know.
Day Before?
I don't.
And it's like a survival zombie game. That looked like a spiritual successor or sequel or prequel. or
it's
something.
just Boomer's prequel. When he's like
Boozer.
Boozer, sorry.
Boozer.
Boozer's
It's not
prequel.
Boomer.
I feel like that's almost a better name than.
You really need, dude. You need to. You guys really need to play the game.
Is it the
Because, like,
is it the is it
really
the
It's like a
is this
fast.
the Fast Five? Is it the Fast
It's
and
so
Furious?
like it's almost like it's an
game?
interesting. Like, okay, I'm kind of the Sony fanboy. I feel like I probably like simp for Sony more than most people do on this show. But like, there's people out there that are outraged that the game's not getting a sequel. But like, if you just play the game, you're like, okay, like Sony first party games are supposed to be like The Last of Us, like Uncharted. You play this, it's like they're like the writing. It, you know, I'm about to like get censored on the show, but like, the
I
writing's
saw.
bad. I was about like the writing is like really bad. Like it's so like in the characters, like it's so laughably bad. Like you play it and it's fun. Like the gameplay loop is fun to it, but like you really do want to play it for the story because the pacing is like off the charts terrible. The characters are so unlikable and like poorly written. Like the main villain is what's his name? Colby Schizo? Is that his name? Schizo?
He sounds like a
Schizo.
Muppet.
And he his
He kind of
character
looks like a Muppet.
is like a like his character is like a white trash like gangster that like survived like the zombie apocalypse. And he like walks around like a flat bill like
Oh,
baseball
okay.
hat like and he talks like
Yeah.
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 There's a character named Iron Mike.
I
A
forgot
leader.
about Iron Mike.
Iron Mike,
All
man,
right.
never forget. Yeah, all right. Spoilers.
If you forgot about him, you
I'm
wasn't
pretty
in the
sure.
game
I'm pretty sure
very long.
Schizo. I'm pretty sure Schizo kills Iron Mike.
Yeah, dude, bastard.
See, yeah, Mick, you can play Days Gone.
Days Gone
On
at
the
60
PS.
frames per second on PS5.
Yeah, on the PS5. Oh gosh.
Your character's such a
can't wait.
psychopath in the game too. Like he's so crazy.
But he's got a
So,
bike.
Oh
But
god.
he's got a
He's just trying
bike.
to find his dead wife, who's
the
not
quote-
really
You'll
dead.
be like walking around, like you'll be like sneaky up on like a group of people, and then like your character will just mutter himself. He's like, "I'm just gonna kill them all. I'm just gonna kill them all." Like, and then you'll get done. Like they'll go to like, like yeah, you'll get out of that and go to cussing. He's like, I gotta find my wife. She's missing. She's all I care about. I'm like, dude, like you're crazy.
He has like some great one-liners too. Like he'll like so there's like scrap in the game, right? So like you need that to like upgrade his motorcycle. So you'll just like come across these like spare nuts and bolts, and he's like, "Oh yeah, nothing like spare scrap."
This,
You guys should really play
this
it.
sounds
It's so
like
good.
this sounds like my kind of game, you know. Gosh, after I beat Persona 5, you know, the only way to play a better, more enjoyable story and gameplay experience, you know, like Days Gone is probably the only thing that can scratch that itch. Gosh.
Oh, wait.
I actually, regarding games, I've been playing a lot lately. Since I've been back from my vacation, I played one GTA playlist with the boys, and then I played Warzone today. because they redid the Warzone map, which
Hence the 300 gigabyte update.
yeah, exactly, yeah. I had to get like a couple extra drives to accommodate these stupid Call of Duty updates, but
Dude, what do you play it on a thumb drive? Like, a couple extra drives.
it's just
apartment-
SD sticks.
Your apartment's like 100 degrees to run the game because it's like just like
Yeah,
sorry to melt.
and then at the end, you get second place, and the game is still like a 7 out of 10, and you're like, oh, okay, well, it's still a fun experience. Like I like battle royale games with friends. I think they're fun. I try not to take them too seriously. We talked a little bit about this while we were playing today, about kind of like the level of intensity and I guess sincerity you take the aspect of winning the game versus the enjoyment of just playing the game with friends. I tend to kind of be more on the side that as long as I'm playing with friends, I'm having a fun time, even if we don't do well. And not everyone is like that. It's like I think Colby cares a little bit more about a victory than I do. I'd probably say that.
Yeah, probably.
But they redid the Warzone map. They kind of did not a lot of changes. It's basically just a reskin of the existing map. They
Really
changed.
funny because sometimes there's no changes at all to certain areas. It's just literally the exact same thing.
No.
with some different
See,
textures.
it's in the past. So instead of dead flowers, it's now living flowers that are outside the house.
Learn to appreciate the little things, Will.
Yeah, come on, Will. Pay attention. Turn up. You got to turn those settings up. Go from high to ultra.
Sorry.
Gosh.
I mean, I would if I didn't have a base PS4.
If I wasn't playing on, the flash drives.
A potato in the microwave. Like,
Some of the changes they do have Colby and I were riding the gondolas from place to place.
It was so
That was kind
fun.
of fun. I like those. Now you can get back to
It
the
was so
top of where
stupid.
the dam would have been because now it hasn't been built yet. So
Oh, we can't go to Dam anymore?
no, we can go to Summit. Is
Dave
what
can't
it's called.
tell us to go to Dam
Yeah.
and then let us die there.
So like I was like making fun of Dave. I was like, "Oh, Dave, you can't go to Dam anymore." But we did drop where the dam like used to be or / will be, and that's where all the gondolas are. So it is pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, so it's
Do nothing.
anything else they changed in that game that's great or kind of
No.
worth the 150 gigabyte update.
there's a new gun.
Well, there's 50 of the gigs. Like,
There's a new gun, 4 new stickers, and one of those little dangly things that you stick on side of.
It's
on
a
the side
charm.
Of the, oh, sorry.
It's a charm, yeah.
The
What you
charm.
talking about dangly little things for? Like,
Man. I guess we're all like we should probably end pretty soon. But both Will and Colby, you both almost died this week, right? Allegedly.
Yes.
yeah, I was pretty serious. I got shot in the arm.
And you lived.
And I lived because I got a shot with the Moderna vaccine in it.
That's why you almost died.
sheep.
Moderna.
I
I can't believe you took the mark of the beast, Will. You're going to hell. Like,
see, my arm's gonna be the first thing that's on fire when I get thrown into the pin.
So both of you had did both of you get your second administration, or was it
My first one.
Will had his first,
was
Colby
my
had his
second.
second. Will, why don't you go into it first? What your your
Yeah,
experience
so
is like?
I got my first shot on a Thursday. I was completely fine for the rest of the day, besides a little bit of a sore arm. Friday, woke up, fever, chills, headache, body aches, cough the whole day.
Indigestion,
it was-
upset stomach, diarrhea.
Not those three,
Abysmal.
actually. I almost wish I had those just to say, just to get hit a bingo for all the symptoms. But unfortunately at the same time, I only had those 5. But it was still terrible because all those 5 you could feel really badly.
I was gonna say
And-
none of them sound that fun.
No, it was not fun, and I was basically laying in my bed almost all day. And I went to bed at 10 p.m. that night and woke up at 9 a.m. the next morning, and I got 11 hours of sleep, and I was completely fine.
Well, that sounds nice.
It was one whole day of just terrible symptoms, and then just gone, basically all gone the next day.
You just have to sleep them off.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it though, where it's like you feel so terrible,
so horrible,
and
and then the next day,
after the next day, it's just gone. You're good, fine, just a little bit of a sore arm.
Mm-hmm.
It's
now
mind-boggling.
Colby.
Anyway, Colby.
So I got my second shot.
Entered a new plane of
yesterday
existence.
Yeah.
So, I had a near-death experience. I was fine, so I got it yesterday morning. Was fine all day, and then it hit me. I was at Denny's last night around like 11:30, and like that's when I realized like the body ache, the fatigue, the chills, they all hit me at once.
Even
So-
if it wasn't from the cinnamon roll
Yeah.
pancakes
The
you were
stack
eating.
of
yeah, and it
the short
wasn't-
stack of pancakes also hit you at the same time. You're like, whoa.
Yeah. So by the time I got home and the drive from like my house to Denny's, the symptoms got way worse, to the point where I got home and I took a 30-minute shower with the water on the hottest setting, and I couldn't.
Oh, no, why would you do that?
I couldn't
wait.
get warm. I was shivering in the shower.
That's not what-
I had a fever, and then I went to lay down after my shower, and I don't know what happened to me. I felt like I discovered the universe.
Colby sent me some disturbing texts that I woke up to at I saw that he sent at 2 in the morning. I was
would
like,
you be
I'm like, Colby, would you share them?
Yeah. Would you be
Yeah,
okay
yeah,
reading?
yeah.
Because my interpretation was, I'm like, oh, Colby went out with friends last night and did psychedelic drugs. Like, that's what happened.
No.
Landon says-
I went out with friends.
Landon said,
to
"Share the
Denny's."
shrooms with me, Colby."
Yeah.
So the text read, and these came in at 2:11 a.m. I honestly don't know what's reality and what's not anymore, dude. I think this might be the end of the road. Every thought is one big blur, and it's like I can choose what's real just by thinking about it. And
Whoa.
that's not an exaggeration. I don't know, man. I had thoughts that it was like I was reliving every weird dream I ever had, just on command. It's like I was memorizing certain places that I had never seen before, but I knew of the. I don't know. I don't know, dude,
Ascended, man.
Yeah.
I was almost. I had convinced myself that life was a simulation, and once you figured it out, that's it. That's the end of it. And I had figured it out, and so I thought I was dying. Now I know how ridiculous that sounds, but I was so scared. It was terrifying.
So wait, how did you come down? How did you come down? What was it? What was that like?
So this whole time, I was just laying in bed, and because I was physically exhausted, like I said, fatigued, but because I was discovering the true meaning of life, my mind was so active that I couldn't fall asleep. And the next thing I know is so at 1 minute, the last thing I remember last night was I was combining all of these old thoughts and weird dreams that I had, and I was putting them into one place, creating my own world. And then I just woke up. But I woke up this morning, I was feeling kind of fine, a little tired.
Are you sure you just didn't dream the whole thing?
On a
Very
side
positive.
on a side or for an aside real quick, that last bit you were talking about, and I think Will probably be the only one that understands this, that reminded me a lot of a very vivid moment in Dune, the book, where where Paul is kind of experiencing the same sort of thing that you are, and the chapter where this thing happens was one of the most interesting chapters I have read in any book. It was really kind of trippy.
Without spoiling too much, is that when he takes the?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. he kind of drinks something or
Drinks.
Yeah.
Consumes something that is.
and Colby talking about that immediately made me think of that moment from the book. So
Dude, it was real life, man.
so I think
I
Colby's
know
the
it was real
chosen
life
one.
because I was making it real life.
I like to imagine that Colby was just moments away from figuring out everything to the universe, and then it's mom walked in, and is have you seen
Where's
the
the
new cat anywhere?
Dude, you gotta stop.
Like, he
you gotta
loses
stop.
it
It's
all.
too close to home. No, I do remember though. Like, I do remember as I was like slowly falling asleep, I would compile all these thoughts together, and then I just lose them, and then I would try and compile them again, but I'd be missing a piece, and I couldn't remember, and then I'd lose what I have, and then it was just all slipping, and I was like really mad. I was like, I need to get this down on paper, but I didn't have like the physical strength to move a limb. I was so like, just I don't know.
I was
Man.
doing
The
quantum
COVID vaccine
physics
sounds
in
pretty
sleep.
dope.
Yeah, like I think I'm gonna take the COVID vaccine next weekend too.
Yeah, hook me up, man. I mean, it sounds eye-opening.
I'm gonna go in with I'm gonna get a fake ID just to get 2 more shots. Just get 2 more goes at this bad boy. Like maybe, I'm hoping that in those 2 runs, like I can figure it all out. I can crack this case.
Man, I'm really disappointed now because both of my COVID shots were like the mildest thing I've ever had.
I would.
But did you get Pfizer?
I wouldn't be disappointed.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a Pfizer dweeb. That's
Yeah, I'm a
why.
Pfizer
Like Moderna,
dweeb.
Moderna, like, is where it's at.
That's where
Yeah,
where the psychedelics is. Where it's
All
at.
American, baby. That American engineering.
Oh, gosh.
I
Well.
gotta take mine. I'm just.
Oh yeah, what
lazy.
happened to your appointment?
Wait, so
The other day I was like, I'll schedule to make one. I was like, I'll schedule to make one because I need to do it. So like I was on like the website trying to do it, and then I had like the date selected and I had everything like picked out. I was like trying to hit the confirm button and like the page froze.
This
So
is
I'm
like the most
well,
Landon
I'll-
story ever.
Yeah, like the page
I
froze.
tried
so,
to
like,
hit
I
the
reloaded
confirm
it.
button.
It wouldn't reload, so I'm like, whatever, like I'll just do it another time. And then like I pulled up my email like yesterday afternoon. It's like I saw an email. It's like confirm your like COVID vaccine appointment today. And then like it was like 9 in the morning. It was already like 1 p.m. I'm like, ooh. I'm like, and then like an hour later, another email came through. It was like your COVID vaccine appointment has been canceled. I was like, shoot, man. Like, do I not qualify to get it now? Like, I
You
stood
wasted
him
your
up.
opportunity.
I stood him up.
I woke up. So Landon woke up to those texts from me. I woke up to a text from Landon of a screenshot of his email that says, "Dear Landon, your COVID vaccine appointment has been canceled." And he sent that picture to me and said, "Me after the boys almost died from the COVID vaccine." I'm being a
I said,
coward.
no, thanks, man. I'm like, I'm a coward. I'll take my chances. I just don't want to have like. It sounds like both you and Colby had like really bad. I don't want to give up a Saturday. Like
So
homeowner land as a new homeowner.
Oh my gosh!
Okay.
No. Wow.
We're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah. Let's transition to the outro. Like if Landon's trying to steer the topic back into owner Landon, like we just gotta abort. Just cut it off right there.
Yeah.
He's like, so for brands of fridge, I was looking at the Kenmores, but I don't know the doors, they just don't really open like quite the way that I want them to.
He's like, so I was mowing the lawn the other day in my jean shorts and New Balances, and
jean shorts and a can of Rolling Rock.
And you guys wonder why I haven't gone over there.
No, it's because you weren't invited.
Because I wasn't invited and because I don't want to experience that.
Well,
That's fine.
Anyway, anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap up tonight?
if somebody can finish the second half of my theory, please contact me.
The theory of Colby?
No, the theory of life, man.
No. See, I'm
so
saying that's what
close.
you call it. Is it's the theory of Colby? So it's
Okay,
it's Colby's
yeah.
theory. We just
Yeah.
don't have the solution to it yet. We have the problem.
Yeah.
He's trying to get funding from like
Yeah.
universities, like
Please.
funded studies.
I just need one more hit.
My Venmo is
Oh goodness. Well, hopefully that doesn't discourage people from going out there and getting
I
vaccinated.
hope
they
not.
say,
Like I
shoot
said,
up
I'm
to
going to
open
try
up.
and get
Yeah,
you
yeah.
to overdose.
Shoot up to open up,
So-
as the Hotkeys podcast says. Anyway, well, thank you for joining us this week. We will be back next week for more PS5 talk, and we'll talk about upcoming TV shows and stuff. And
Probably got to paint my walls with paint next
yeah,
week. so-
painting with paint, and then I'm sure Colby or Landon will bring up Days Gone. And I'll crap on Snyder Cut. So anyway, thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
So if you put like if you put Colby, like okay, if you put Homer Land,
Try again. No, just calm down. Try again.
Put the drink down. Say it again.
If you put homeowner Landon and ascended Colby into the gulag, 1v1, who wins? Who wins?
Colby comes out on top because he knows too much, man. Like he's not
Colby just closes his eyes and he just thinks victory.
But homeowner Landon has the jean shorts, the power, the sayings. I
don't know.
The primer.
Landon's over there like struggling to start the mower because he's like, like he didn't push the thing in enough to.
Dude, like
he's just swearing.
You're missing the part where I literally was creating my own reality.
But how much?
So
how much of that reality?
Dr. Manhattan
is homeowner
over
Landon
here,
going to be in?
And then we have like the dad from Rick and Morty.
Jerry.
Hi there, Colby. And Colby just unthinks you out of existence.
Jerry is so
snap kind of
funny.
stuff.
Jerry's so funny on that show.
Is it Jerry or Gary?
It's Jerry.
See, now you're thinking of Parks and Rec. You're getting that,
No.
Jerry, Fairy.
I thought it was Jerry, but then I thought of Sleepy Gary, and Sleepy Gary makes more sense than Sleepy Jerry.
What?
I love Jerry. Like,
I think it's Gary.
No, it's Jerry.
It's Jerry, dude.
It's not
Are we all
Gary.
positive?
Okay, I'm gonna.
For
stop
someone who
recording
knows
now.
everything,
I'm gonna stop
like,
recording.
Colby doesn't know anything.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Hotkeys podcast. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, CastBox, YouTube, and other podcasting platforms. Visit our website, www.hotkeyspodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter at Hotkeys Podcast and join our Facebook group at facebook.com/HKHotkeys. Please like and review us and subscribe to the show on whichever platforms you use. Finally, you can contact us via email at hosts@hotkeyspodcast.com.